Hey, welcome everyone to Optimal Health Community Time. Let's talk. I'm Jan Paxman, certified metabolic Optavia coach, and I'm so glad you're here. If you're joining us live tonight, hop in the chat. Let us know where you're coming from and what you're excited to learn. And big welcome to anyone who's listening to the playback or catching the podcast. Tonight, you're in for a real treat. We have the amazing Jared Smithson with us. I became a coach with Optavia about a year after Jared and his wife, Amber. And ever since, their leadership and heart have truly been such an inspiration to me, and I'm sure to so many of you. So Jared's going to help us unpack the mysteries of metabolic health and explore what true transformation can mean for each of us. What's in it for us, right? We want to know. And if you know Jared, you know he's going to be bringing the stats, the insights, and the quotable quotes. So you might want to have a pen handy too. So settle in, stay engaged, and get ready. Not only we get to hear from Jared, but also he has a really special guest he's going to introduce a little bit later on. So Jared, take the mic. It's all yours.
Thank you, Jan. Yeah, metabolic health has been my passion for nearly 2 decades. And I might disappoint some of you. I'm not going to get super into stats tonight. I'm gonna kind of go back to the beginning. But when I started my health journey 17 years ago, it was actually about 5 years before that. Because my dad passed away at age 58, and that is 7 years older than I am right now. And it was way too early. I'm 51 years old, and I still wish I had my dad around to have conversations and learn from my greatest mentor in life. But I saw my life going down a path. I was tired all the time. I was exhausted. When I came home from work, my two boys, my little girl, she was only 1 year old at the time, but my two boys were 5 and 7. And the first thing they would say to me when I came through the door was, "Dad, chase us." And I'm like, are they little dogs or something like that? They just love to be chased. And I would chase them up the stairs or chase them out the back door. And within a few steps, I was exhausted, and I would just lay on the ground, and it would turn into a wrestling match because I was so exhausted that I didn't want to keep chasing them around. So I made the determination that I was going to change my life because I wanted to grow up. I was only 35 years old at the time, and I wanted to grow up with my kids and continue to be able to play with them and not just like run around the yard or something like that. I wanted to be able to participate with them in the things that I loved if they wanted to learn those things. And so even a few months ago, I was able to compete in a huge two-man volleyball tournament with my 22-year-old son, where the average age was his age. And I was able to compete at the highest level with my son. I'm just like we've been talking about metabolic health so much for the last several months, but Dr. A shared this just about a month ago. He said we don't live in a world that makes us sick by accident. We live in a world designed to keep us there. The Optavia has been really focused around weight for a lot of time. And with our new studies and with the incredible medical backing that we have, and all of the things that are going on in the world of health right now, we know that weight is not the real enemy. Metabolic dysfunction is. 9 out of 10 Americans are suffering from metabolic dysfunction. I recently heard an alarming statistic. Here's one statistic for you. Over 40% of kids, this is ages 2 through 19, over 40% are suffering from chronic illness as a result of metabolic dysfunction. So they're already having the dysfunction and the symptoms and things that years and years and decades ago we didn't suffer from until middle age or even later in life. So this is the state of America right now. Why is there so much metabolic dysfunction? Well, Dr. A's talked about it for over 2 decades. It's the habits of disease. The average input calories for the United States and the UK is over 3,500 calories a day. Now, the RDA on the back of all of your labels, it says based on a 2,000 calorie a day diet. Some people don't even need 2,000. They're too sedentary to be warranting even 2,000. But it's important to know our total energy expenditure so that we can have the energy input that matches our output. Our output, we're sitting for 9 to 15 hours a day. 80% of our country is sitting for more than 5 hours continuously. Skeletal muscle, our physical activity, is less than 20 minutes per day. Kids are spending less than 2 hours a week outside. I remember when I was a kid, I was always outside. I hated to be inside. And I grew up in Portland, Oregon. It rained all the time. I was out shooting baskets. I was mowing the lawn in the rain, everything. And when we got grounded, we were grounded inside. I know people who ground their kids now outside because their kids are always inside playing video games, watching TV on devices, things like that. A lot of people are wearing the lack of sleep, this hustle culture. They're wearing it as a badge of honor. But less than 6 hours of sleep a night massively increases our likelihood of obesity. 91% of the carbohydrates consumed in our country are deemed simple carbohydrates or simple sugars. It's refined flours, refined sugars. We're not getting those complex fibrous fruits and vegetables. Bulk dysfunction. In the early stages, we just simply feel fatigue, low energy, sugar and caffeine cravings, brain fog, poor concentration, stubborn belly fat starting to appear. Middle stages, where it starts to advance, we have irritability, mood swings, anxiety, poor sleep, blood pressure starts creeping up. We start having to take medications, frequent urination, and increased thirst. And then later stages, we actually have visible things, skin changes, noticeable belly fat, and weight gain. More intense fatigue, energy crashes, where we're requiring ourselves to take naps in the afternoon or multiple naps, perhaps. Labs are rising glucose levels, triglycerides, A1Cs, things like that. So you look in there and you think back to the over 40% of kids have chronic illness. I see kids experiencing all of these things. So we know in Optavia that we clinically, scientifically have an answer to reverse metabolic dysfunction, starting with our Metabolic Advantage 5-in-1 active plans. We're targeting visceral fat, getting rid of the noise, the metabolic noise inside that's creating dysfunction across our entire system. We have the habits of health system. The habits of health is what brought Amber and me into Optavia. We resisted Optavia for a year and a half until Amber's mom brought us the habits of health in late 2008. And we consumed that book in less than a week over the holidays. And we had a little bit of extra time and we fell in love with Dr. A's mission and his natural approach to creating healthy habits. Coach and community, everybody needs support. If you don't think that you need support, you're like, oh, I got this on my own. I would challenge your ego, and you probably need the support more than someone who says, no, I need support. So clinically, we know that clients on the 5-in-1 plan lose 10 times more weight with the assistance of a coach, 17 times more fat loss, and 98% lean body mass preservation. I don't know if any of you guys are familiar with Peter Attia, who wrote the book Outlive. Well, just a spoiler, Dr. A wrote this book 20 years ago. And Peter Attia, he ran a large practice, and I recently heard him say in their practice, when they were working with someone in a weight loss phase, that they were aiming for no more than 20% of the total weight loss being muscle loss. They really tried to keep it in 12 to 15. Look at our numbers compared to one of the top clinics in the country. 98% lean body preservation. That is an incredible statistic that nobody in this world can match. So, where I want to go with this discussion tonight is we have the what and we have the how. But have we made a fundamental choice? This is one of the things that was in the Habits of Health that changed our perspective on health. Because so many people, especially in the next 30, 60, 90 days, over 60% of our country has as one of their top 3 resolutions every single year to get healthier, including weight loss, including what we're talking about with overall metabolic health, becoming more fit, gaining more muscle, increasing our metabolism. But these people they go straight to strategy. They go straight to, how am I going to do it? What program am I going to do? What foods am I going to eat? Whereas they are not asking themselves the most important question, why do I want this? What is my purpose behind creating the healthiest version of myself? And over time, in the process of development, we start with choices. And we make those choices day after day, and when we make choices long enough, they become habits. And we're creating habits of health. But habits is in the developmental process is not even the end. The next thing after habits is practice. Are we practicing those habits and perfecting those habits and experimenting with those habits and finding what is best? What is allowing us to level up to the next spot in our life? And as we practice those things, they become second nature. Who's heard that before? That Optavia's slogan is making healthy habits second nature, right? And even beyond that, it goes to who. After we do it for so long, it simply becomes who we are. So are we creating a new identity of health, or are we just going straight to a strategy and saying, how am I going to do this? Harvard did a study during COVID where a lot of people were, their overall health, physical, mental, emotional well-being was going downhill. So they sent out a fairly simple survey. I mean, it wasn't as simple as I might make it sound, but there's a lot of different choices, but all of the choices, what they wanted to find out is why people made change. And there was about 50 overall responses that people could make, but those 50 responses were divided into two categories. One was dissatisfaction, and the other was vision. 92% of people who responded, and it was over 50,000 respondents, 92% indicated that they made changes in their life based on dissatisfaction. Now, dissatisfaction is a great place to start because there is a seed of vision there. I don't like this. I don't prefer this in my life. So, what is it that I actually want? What do I want to create? And unless we flip from just focusing on the dissatisfaction to the vision, those choices and those habits are fairly short lived. And that's what Harvard's study showed, that people that base their change on dissatisfaction, that it was roughly about 2 years. And we see that in the number of people, in the percentages of people who regain weight, who return to old habits. Whereas the people who had a vision of what they wanted to create, they were engaged daily in the creation of an identity that supported that. So I want to bring on a good friend of mine, Laurie Warren, who's been a coach with us for a lot of years. And she has inspired me for a lot of years. But she's inspired me so much more in the last few months. So, Laurie, I want you to start by just kind of sharing where you were mentally, physically, when you first started your journey with Optavia.
Oh, Jared, thank you for inviting me to be here. And that takes me back 9 years. I can't believe it's been that long ago. But I just to kind of back up, I was that cardio queen at the gym. I was in the step aerobics classes and the insanity classes, all the things. And really, have you seen those people at the gym that do the same classes over and over and they just don't change? Like they look exactly the same 5 years, 10 years, 20, 30 years later. That was me. And just so frustrated because I would look at what other people ate and what they were doing. And I thought, oh, if I ate that much, like I would be as big as a house, and it really led to a lot of frustration that what I was doing wasn't working. I felt broken. I felt like something was wrong with me. And I just wanted to give up. But about 9 years ago, I saw some friends who were having a lot of success, and I asked questions around. I was like, thought that was really weird, whatever that was they were doing. But I finally decided to talk to their coach, and she talked about things that I had never really understood before, like how to keep your blood sugar steady and how to eat smaller meals more often, all of those things. And so I decided kind of skeptically to try it. And what I found was for the first time ever, like something worked and I felt empowered. I felt in control and I felt so physically good. And I ended up losing 30 pounds in about 3 months. And I was just so inspired by everything that happened. I decided to step in and start coaching other people. So I've been doing that for about 9 years. And it's really been a lot of fun. And I've just learned so much along the way.
So I remember that 9 years ago, and Amber and I were like, "Whoa, who is this lady?" Like she has incredible energy. What other changes with along with the 30 pounds? What else did you experience
Mm.
physically, emotionally, as a result of that transformation?
I really think the energy and the confidence that came with that. I remember my husband just like, who is this person with all this energy getting all these things done, and I'm like, I just feel good, I can do things that I didn't do before. I don't need the nap in the middle of the day every day. And then just the confidence that came with that. Just I felt like previously I had been kind of shrinking back from life and not getting, dropping my kids off at activities and not getting out of the car just because I didn't feel like talking to people. And that was one of the biggest changes was like, I just wanted to talk to people and share with them and just, really practice being a light in the world. And so that was a big change.
Yeah, that is a huge change because when people transform, it's so interesting that oftentimes we go from this reluctance to engage socially, to engage with the world, and then when we have something like this, we just naturally want to share it, and we want other people to feel the way we do. So in the last several months, as the research has come out, we've got this incredible backing that we can reverse metabolic dysfunction. What was it, and why did you decide to? What like compelled you inside to say, I've got another level in me?
She's a bit frozen right now. Not just you, Jared.
Okay.
Okay,
Oh,
she's
here I
back.
am.
Okay,
She's
she's
back.
back.
I'm back.
Did you hear my question,
Uh,
Laurie?
yes, I did hear it.
Okay, good.
And so kind of fast forward, time is going on. A couple years ago, I'm like 58 years old and already through menopause, but post was catching up with me. And things were kind of getting a little harder. I don't know if anyone's experienced this, like had my habits that I was tracking and, just falling into, but um, I just found that it was harder for me to maintain weight and and the energy was starting to lag a little bit again. And so as we started learning more about metabolism and all the things that Dr. A's been teaching us, just kind of hit me like a ton of bricks. Oh my gosh, I've been neglecting something. Like I've been putting off, like I've been working out, but I haven't really been focusing on muscle gains and realizing that is maybe keeping my metabolism a little bit slower. And that is the key for me. Like, I need to focus on muscle gains right now. And that's that really like it takes so much to support that. It takes leaning into all the habits. It takes, getting the rest, dealing with your stress, getting your water in, all of the things. So, what have I been doing in the last, I don't know, like last year? At 59, I decided to become a jazzercise instructor because that sounded fun to me. I was looking for something fun, something that would challenge my brain. I have to like call out things ahead of counts and reverse, my left and my right and memorize routines. And it's been so much fun. So I've been teaching jazzercise and then I've been hitting the gym 4 days a week and challenging myself to lift heavier than I did before and utilizing all the tools that Dr. A has given us with the EAAs and just everything that he's been teaching us. And it's all starting to click. And I've been following my numbers through the DEXA scans and my metabolic scale. And over the last few months, I've dropped 15 pounds and I've increased my bone density and muscle and decreased visceral fat. And just, it's like all coming together.
Yeah, and this lady is inspiring. Like she's not using like little mamby-pamby pink weights. Like I saw a post of hers the other day and she's got the big, chunky, ugly black dumbbells and she's doing reverse flies with them. So this lady is strong. So how has your mindset evolved, and how has that your mindset evolution created new goal evolution?
I think I kind of got caught up for a number of years, even as a coach. Maybe some of you can relate to this, like chasing that goal number, like on the scale. And like just I kept thinking, like, oh, I've got to maintain that number. And I just kept putting off all the other stuff that would lead to the better metabolism. And so that's really just shifted for me, like that I need to be focusing on longevity and what's going to set me up for the next, hopefully 30 years that I have on this earth. I have uh, my grandmother. Did I freeze up again? Shoot.
We can hear you again, I think.
Okay, good. They both
Good.
have dementia, and that's recently been linked to metabolism dysfunction. And so every day, as I've been taking care of my mom, I've been asking myself, what can I do to set my body up to be in the best place to prevent, hopefully, that dementia coming on, as maybe making it later or maybe making it not happen at all.
Yeah. So, I mean, I've watched you with your parents over the last couple of years, and health isn't always easy in our environments, in our lives. So, it's one of the things that just trips us all up. So, how have you thought through it, and what have you done to prioritize your health with all the obstacles, distractions, challenges?
Yeah, so just to share, the last 5 years for some of them, I've had both of my parents living with me. My dad passed away 2 years ago, and now this very week, my mom has been every night. We are thinking it's the last night. She's in the last hours of her life. And we also have 4 generations living in our house. So life is a bit crazy, and stress and emotions, are kind of in that roller coaster right now. But what I have learned is that when you develop those habits that Jared was talking about, you don't have to rely on your willpower or uh, just like falling off the wagon as much, because it just becomes part of who you are. And I've really learned, I'm just getting choked up a little bit here. I've really learned when that voice comes in, because it does when things get crazy, a voice in your head tells you, just put it off. You can get to it later. You can't deal with that right now. I've started flipping that script into no. These are the very things that are going to help me get through this situation. And I need to take care of my body and my mind so that I can better help those around me.
Oh, you choke me up all the time, Lori. Thank you so much for spending time with us. In conclusion, I want to share like an inspiring story that I learned a lot of years ago, a decade or so ago, when Kobe Bryant was in the NBA, and he was considered by most the best player in the world at the time. There was a LA Lakers beat writer, a new writer that came into the gym, and he just watched Kobe be the first one in the gym, the last one to leave, and he just observed him for like a month. Mostly, he observed him and didn't approach him because he was so intimidated by him. But after about a month, Kobe approached him and said, "Hey, do you want to ask some questions? Like, I'll give you an interview. We can sit down and chat." And he ended up sitting down and chatting for a couple of hours with him. But one of the questions that this beat writer asked him was, "I come in and into the gym and I see you, the first one in the gym, the last one leaving." And he's like, "I have a third grade son that's playing like little league junior Laker basketball and stuff. And when I come into the gym and you're working by yourself, you're practicing the same footwork and dribbling drills and things that he does as a third grader. Kobe, why are you wasting your time with all of this stuff? You're the best player in the world." And Kobe's response said, "That's why I'm the best player in the world. Because I work on the fundamentals over and over and over, and I can do them in my sleep." What are those fundamentals? They're the habits of health. They're waking up and eating breakfast within an hour of waking, eating every 2 to 3 hours, carb protein balancing, using our fuelings and all of our incredible active products as tools to help assist us in this journey. It's moving our bodies every single day and trying to get stronger. It's sleeping. It's having good socialization with friends and family and encouraging others with the things that we've been blessed with. So I want to thank Laurie. I want to thank Jan and the crew for inviting us to be on tonight. Thanks everybody for being with us. Really, really dig in and know why you want to be healthy, whether it's for your family, for loved ones, whatever it is, because that will drive you to the success that you want.
Wow, Jared, thank you so much. And Laurie, oh my goodness, our hearts are with you. You both are such great examples of the consistency of using the tools in real life and becoming a person that identifies as a healthy person, right? That's what it's all about. We're no longer on or off or doing something, that we can't sustain. We become it. So you guys both have taught as well tonight. Thank you so much. All right, everybody. Well, tonight has been amazing. I just want to make sure you're remembering tomorrow, the first Tuesday of every month, we get to hear from Dr. A himself at noon Eastern. Do not miss it. Conscious Leaders Forum. It is amazing every time. So please set your timers, join in. It's going to be fantastic. And also, we have a big treat for you next week. Do not miss it because we have a superhero, an Avenger, if you will, coming. Captain Metabolic. You do not want to miss this one. So be here next week for another fantastic episode of Let's Talk. See you all later. Thank you so much.